Prime Minister also confirmed international travel will return, accompanied by a risk-based traffic light system. In the past 24 hours, the UK has reported more than 2,700 new infections and 26 coronavirus-related deaths. Joining me now live is News Corp's Europe correspondent Stephen Drill. Stephen, good morning. April 12, it's going ahead. A significant moment for the country.
It's huge. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long winter here in the UK. It even actually snowed today, surprisingly, even though we're in April for about an hour or so. But everyone's quite keen to get back to a little bit of normality, and the first step will be people being able to have a pint at the pub without any restriction on having to get a substantial meal. That's from next Monday. But everyone will still have to be outside. So it's only pubs with beer gardens. So it's baby steps, but also gyms, non-essential shops. So all those retailers that have been closed since before Christmas, they'll be opening up again, and we'll see quite a few people getting a haircut. Even Mr. Johnson, the Prime Minister there, looking like he probably needs a bit of a haircut as well. So it's been a long 3 months, but there's been extraordinary effort in the past few weeks of getting the vaccines out. There's more than 31 million people have had their first jab. Another 5 million have had 2 doses of a mixture of the Oxford AstraZeneca regime and the Pfizer jab. So it's seen a huge jump. And you mentioned there in the lead-in that there's 2,700 cases today. On January 9, there was 60,098 cases and roughly more than 1,300 deaths. So the vaccines are working. There's a real-world example of what's going on when the vaccines do get rolled out. And that's something that Australia, who is getting the AstraZeneca vaccine and is likely to be the workhorse of the Australia's program, it can be seen that it does work.
Absolutely. This is certainly testament to it. You mentioned 31 million people have now been vaccinated. Is that on track? Is that the target that was set?
Yeah, so it was 32 million by April 15. So we've got another 2 weeks for 3 million odd jabs, 3 or 4 million odd first doses. So they've gone down to the over 50s so far, and some people under 40 have even been given vaccines. I know of, I think, 4 or 5 people, 4 or 5 friends who are under 40 who've already received them. Some people have been able to walk in to vaccination centres late in the day when there's been leftovers. So it's an extraordinary success, and there was so much talk about Brexit and whether Brexit was a good idea. Well, this is proof that it was, because in the UK, there's more than 40% of people have had their first jab. In Germany and France and Italy, it's hovering around the 10 or 12%. So there's huge restrictions about to be imposed there again. Particularly France has gone into another month lockdown, while the UK is actually starting to ease their restrictions.
Yeah, it's testament, as I said, to the UK. Great work by everybody. Now, in terms of international travel, Boris Johnson, Stephen, has said that he's hopeful that it could resume in the next stage of easing of restrictions on the 17th of May. Any idea yet how that might look?
Well, there's this traffic light system, which it sounds a little bit like we might be more on amber and pausing for a little bit longer than previously thought. Now, there's some suggestion that we could have a traffic light system of countries such as Portugal with low infections could be considered green. Gibraltar, which has almost vaccinated the entire population, that would be considered a green country, and you could go without having to quarantine on the way back. But Boris Johnson did say today he didn't want new strains of the vaccine to be brought back into the UK. So I don't think it's going to be a massive party as yet, and I don't think it's going to be completely widespread. But the earliest that can happen is May 17, but perhaps more likely June and July, when it's a lot warmer and more of Europe will have had their vaccine and more places would be able to go to. But they did put up a flyer stat today about the number of variants in the country, and it's overwhelmingly still the Kent or the UK strain here, and there's a little bit of the South African strain and some Japanese variants as well. But it is currently just the strain that's been going around originally. So I don't think it's going to be a free-for-all, but there is some signs of international travel, and that would be interesting to see the UK opening up again a long time before Australia.